Farming is the backbone of Idaho's economy, but here in the Treasure Valley, things are looking different than they did only a decade ago. Statistics show family farms still make up the majority of farms in the Gem State, but there are fewer of them. Farmers are aging out, and younger generations aren't as interested in farming. It's an expensive industry to begin with, and running a family farm is becoming more expensive. The USDA found farmland in Canyon and Ada counties is disappearing faster than any other area of Idaho. This as the Treasure Valley continues to top lists as one of the fastest growing places in the nation. The disappearance of farmland is a huge concern, one the Idaho Farm Bureau is focused on trying to solve. News Channel 7's Morgan Romero takes a look at how family farms are faring in Idaho.
Idaho's the fastest growing state in the country.
Most Boiseans and Idahoans are sick and tired of all the growth.
Ada County's count jumped 26%. Idaho's population will continue to boom.
All that growth.
The growth, I suppose, is good.
Comes at a cost.
But it creates a fair challenge, and then you kind of wonder, it makes you wonder if you're really that smart staying here. You might be better to move somewhere else.
Prime development land in the Treasure Valley also happens to be prime farmland in a prime climate for growing food.
I've actually had to buy land near some of our key operating units to keep developers from building houses right up next to our farm shop.
Developers are offering farmers, in a lot of cases, a very pretty penny for their land. And a lot of farmers, see that as their retirement, and they're selling their farm.
In all his 48 potato harvests in Wilder, Doug Rose feels pride.
Pretty good.
I think they are good. Well, you're always real proud of what you've accomplished over time. We've built a very successful business.
He and his employees started with bare ground.
We're proud of what we've done, and we're quality-based, and we've been somewhat rewarded for that. It's very difficult to walk away from something that you've been doing for 48 years. This is all very close to me. I can show you where I drove my first tractor myself at 5 years old.
Although his acreage quadrupled since starting his own business, owning 1,000 and renting or trading 2,000 acres more, his family farm is considered smaller than average. The USDA now defines a family farm as any farm in which the majority of the business is owned by an operator and any individuals related to them by blood, marriage, or adoption, including relatives who do not live in the operator's house. As equipment and technology evolve and yields triple.
It's very risky, and our input costs the last 2 years have gone up so much. Fertilizer, fuel, labor.
Owning a family farm is growing more expensive, and profit margins are shrinking. Farm estate planning advisor Ryan Baker says the rising cost of land is deterring farm growth.
People can't go buy land and produce enough off of it to pay for the land that they're purchasing. So it just doesn't work. And for families who already have the land, they can make so much more money selling it than farming.
Developers offering hundreds of thousands of dollars per acre in the Treasure Valley raises the prices of land for farmers who not only own, but also rent land.
We've basically, with the help of the developers, created a price point that isn't even close to sustainable as far as trying to be profitable farming the ground.
Mostly, the rapid growth puts pressure on farmers to sell and either retire or buy in more affordable outskirts, with some of those farmers buying in outskirts like Wilder.
They don't want to have to pay capital gains tax, so they're out here trying to buy ground around us, and they're elevating the value of the land and making it more difficult for us to buy or to expand.
The most recent census of agriculture, taken between 2012 and 2017, shows the vast majority of farms in Idaho are still family-owned and operated. And fewer farms are creating more food.
As farmers retire, other farmers buy their farmland, and the average size of the farm keeps getting bigger.
Idaho lost 100,000 acres of farmland in that 5-year period. And when the updated census comes out in 2024, the Idaho Farm Bureau expects that number to be even higher.
It's a major issue. Right here in the Treasure Valley, it's the hot spot for loss of farmland in Idaho.
Farm Bureau spokesman Sean Ellis says Canyon County has the most farms in Idaho, followed by Ada, though most are smaller than the average Idaho farm.
Ada County lost 22% of its farmland from 2012 to 17. Canyon County lost 10% of its farmland during that same time.
As that land disappears, many farmers say they have to farm between the cracks.
They're farming between subdivisions.
It's difficult, you know, moving equipment around has become a real challenge. We have cattle strung out in yards kind of all over Ada and Canyon County. You start taking out little pockets of really nice ground, it's going to create a real challenge for people all over the world.
As the average age of the farmer in the U.S. rises to 58, so does the financial barrier for younger generations to get into the industry.
The profit margins right now in our industry are quite narrow, quite low.
If they're even interested in the first place.
Farming takes a lot of long hours, long weekends.
And you're never fully disengaged from it.
Right.
You want help? You can't do what we do if you don't love it. It's a lot. I mean, it's every day, 365 days a year.
33-year-old Tyler Reynolds and his family grow multiple crops. They needed to grow to stay competitive and allow Tyler to come back home after college. So they started this dairy.
This looks like me.
These are Papa's heifers. We're tiny, so there's only a few other guys that are as little as us left. The way we can compete, we raise all our own feed so that we're vertically integrated. To continue to operate, you need to get big enough to create some efficiencies. It's really hard to buy big expensive equipment that really creates a lot of efficiency if you don't have enough acres to amortize the expense over.
To keep farming feeding Idaho's economy and the world, the Farm Bureau created the Farmland Preservation Committee to work toward solutions.
And that committee consists of 15 farmers and ranchers from across Idaho, and they came together for a whole year, and they're discussing possible solutions to try to stem the loss of farmland in Idaho.
Idaho can look to other states for possible solutions, like farmland conservation easements.
So the farmer puts their land, voluntarily agrees to put their land in conservation easements for perpetuity, which is a fancy word for forever, and that the land is agricultural land forever. But they also get paid a certain amount per acre to do that.
Ellis says any answer Idaho implements has to respect private property rights.
And you can't tell a farmer, rancher, or any landowner, property owner, they can't sell their land if they want to, if that's their retirement.
Farmers can also protect themselves and their land by creating succession plans.
How do we preserve this legacy? How do we involve kids who are maybe not farmers and aren't actively involved in the farming operation, but still have them involved in the legacy and keep the farming operation going?
I want my kids to have this land that means so much to me.
But because his kids don't want to run the farm, two of Gross's longtime employees will buy out the operation.
The world needs good, productive farmers, and that's what we're going to help feed the world, and I think the economics of it will improve, and we can maybe possibly modify our work schedules and try to make it more attractive to come back.
Come on, Grant.
Reynolds hopes to pass this down to the next generation.
I probably need to at least muster up like 16 or 17 years, huh, Grant?
Whether it's this chunk of dirt or another, somewhere else in Idaho.
I guess I'm cautiously optimistic that Idaho is still going to have family farms and still going to continue a tradition of agriculture for the rest of my kids' generation anyway. What are the yellow tags?
Heifers.
It's becoming challenging, and the challenges have changed over the years, but I mean, every challenge also seems to create new opportunities.